Legacy Mono-Black Belcher featuring Unmask is back, and that's what we're playing today. Let's go check it out. In front of you is Legacy Mono-Black Belcher, and it's a donation deck from Leon Gross Stoltenberg, who enjoyed the video that I uploaded roughly a year ago. You can find that one in the card above. At the end of that video, I said that I would like some number of defense grid somewhere in the 75. So Leon cut 2 sideboard cards for 2 defense grid, and we're running it back. I felt like the deck was so impressive when I played it last year, so we're going to try it again today. So the idea is that you're a Goblin Charbelcher strategy. So this 4 mana artifact that activates for 3 mana, you reveal cards from the top of your library until you hit a land. If that land is a mountain, it deals double damage. When you look at our deck, there's actually 0 lands in it because we're not playing any. Instead, we have MDFCs, Modal Double-Facing cards like this Boggart Trawler, Spell the Profane, and Agadim's Awakening. So you have 12 lands that aren't actually lands that help you cast your spells like Duress or Thoughtseize to protect your Goblin Charbelcher combo. Additionally, we do have some fast mana in the deck like the classic Dark Ritual, Mox Opal, Lotus Petal, Lion's Eye Diamond, and Chrome Mox. But we're not just a Goblin Charbelcher deck. You do have the Beseech the Mirror combo that you cast Beseech the Mirror, you grab Gaia's Will, you replay a bunch of broken mana, and then you play Beseech the Mirror again into Tendrils of Agony. So you do have another way to win that if your opponent for some reason has like a main deck Disruptor Flute or Pithy Needle, there is another option. Additionally, I love Echo of Eons in my Storm combo decks. It allows you to mulligan really low for an ideal hand for the matchup. So we are playing Echo of Eons plus Entomb. I actually really like this deck, and I hope we do well today. And the reason I'm recording this today instead of tomorrow or another day is Magic Online downtime is in roughly 3 hours. I would like to try to fit this league in before Magic Online goes down. So let's try to speed run through this. I'll see you in the match number 1. Don't go anywhere. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. You can also show your support by becoming a member of this channel. You get sweet perks such as badges, emotes, early access to videos, exclusive members-only content, and access to our members Discord section. As you increase the tiers, there are other rewards such as shop discounts, sideboard guides, and even free donation decks. Click the join button down below to find out more. We also have other ways you can support us, like theepicstorm.com/shop or submitting a donation deck via theepicstorm.com/donation decks. That's enough for now. Let's play some Magic. Round number 1 with Black Belcher and Legacy. Let's go. We are on the play. We have Unmask. We have an Echo of Eons, but we don't have a way to get the Echo of Eons to the graveyard. We should mulligan. Okay, so we have Belcher. We have 3 mana. We also have the Entomb. Interesting. I think we're going to keep this, and we'll bottom the Echo of Eons. And I believe we're supposed to unmask them, exiling the Entomb. I really wish that this was a 7-card hand, because then we could have kept a backup game plan. And they're on the Izzet Corey Steel deck. We'll take the Force of Will. Play Boggart Trawler as a land, and pass. We need to draw Dark Ritual. That's the card we want here. They play a Scalding Tarn. No Mishra's Bauble. What? Alright, so we know that they have Daze. The Lotus Petal is not a terrible draw, but I can't play out the Belcher and then lose the Daze. So we'll just pass the turn. They grab Volcanic Island and step Brainstorm, and there it is. So I guess they're keeping the Mishra's Bauble for the Corey Steel Cutter, and that's fine, but I would have guessed that they would have played out the Mishra's Bauble so that way they could dig deeper for another copy of Force of Will, but maybe they're so confident that they don't need it. I'm not sure. So they search out another Volcanic Island, and there's the Corey Steel Cutter. We need a mana here. And there's the Mishra's Bauble. They create a Monk token with Haste and Prowess and Trample. They have 4 cards. We know 2 of them right now. I go to 18. We need a mana here. They draw up to 5 cards. That's annoying. So on the end step, I can Entomb for Echo of Eons, so that way we have a backup plan. Now they Preordain. They put 2 cards on the bottom with the Preordain. And now a Ponder. They get to create another Monk token. They did not shuffle on the Ponder. That's scary. Mishra's Bauble. That's 7 damage coming in. That's not good for me. They used the Mishra's Bauble. I believe they still have a land drop, and they did not play the Scalding Tarn yet, unless I haven't crossed it off when I should have. I guess they must have played it. So we know that they still have a Daze. End step Entomb. Hopefully they Force of Will this. They did not. We'll grab Echo of Eons. They draw off the Mishra's Bauble. They have 6 cards in their hand. Spell the Profane. So I would go to 8 in order to play Belcher through days, and then there's a pretty good chance we're dead. So I think I'm going to just try to flashback the Echo this turn. We'll play Lotus Petal, play Lotus Petal, and we'll spin with Echo of Eons. And they have Forcible Exiling Stifle. Okay, they have 4 cards in their hand. Lightning Bolt, that's going to do it. So we lose game number 1 to Izzet Delver. Bummer. Yeah, we needed more mana that game. We'll bring in Defense Grid. Maybe cut a couple copies of Unmasked versus the blue deck. I don't know. I feel like 12 protection is a lot, and Unmasked costs you an extra resource. We'll try this. Game number 2 on the play. Nope. Not keeping that. Ooh, okay. So this is a turn 1 win, but we don't have the Thoughtseize protection. We'll keep him bottom Lines at Diamond. It's going to feel bad if we get Force of Willed, but I can't control that. Lines at Diamond. Come on, Force of Will this, please. They let it go. Alright, so we're probably going to lose this. Dark Ritual. Lotus Petal. And Beseech the Mirror with Bargain, sacrifice the Chrome Mox. They're resolved, we'll grab Goblin Charbelcher. Put it on the stack. Firm is 6. And they just concede. Nice. It was all a bluff. We got game number 2 in seconds. I'm just going to send it back. It worked last game. Game 3 on the draw. We're really good at drawing cards that I want to, like Echo of Eons with no Lines at Diamond and this Tendrils of Agony. So we have no protection. We do have some mana. I think we should mulligan. This hand's basically a mulligan to 5 with Tendrils of Agony and Echo in it, so let's just take an actual mulligan. And we'll keep this. Get rid of Mox Opal. I mean, this hand's really good if I draw any action spell. The question is, can we draw an action spell? They play Misty Rainforest, and they mulligan to 5, so they have 4 cards in their hand here. Into a Dragon's Rage Channeler. Mishra's Bauble. Gets rid of Corey Steelcutter. Alright, so they'll draw up to 3 cards. With the Bauble trigger, that is. Another Lines at Diamond. That does not help me win the game, so that's unfortunate. We'll play the Felder Profane untapped. And turn 1 Thoughtseize. They're going to Daze. I'm not going to pay for it here. I think they don't have anything, so I'm going to just pass. They play Volcanic Island. They attack for 1. Ouch, I go to 16. They have 3 cards still in hand. We draw another Dark Ritual. I'm going to sit on this Thoughtseize until we can actually do something. They drew Wasteland. Unfortunate. Okay. 3 cards remaining in their hand here. They can swing for 1. I'll go to 15. And 3rd Lines at Diamond. I need an action spell. Come on. They play Scalding Tarn and Brainstorm. They kept a card on top with the Brainstorm for the Surveil from Dragon's Rage Channeler. And now they swing. I'll go to 14. They have 3 cards in their hand. That is a Belcher. So, if I Dark Ritual, I'm very likely to get dazed. I think I'm going to just pass here and then try to wait until I have 1 more mana. Maybe that's greedy. They Surveil with Thundering Falls. Gets rid of a Mishra's Bauble. They play land number 3, 3 cards in hand. They swing. Like, the Belcher was a good draw, don't get me wrong. I just think I want to wait 1. Like, I want another mana. Ooh. Let's play Diamond and see if they try to counter this. They did not. Unmask. Exiling Thoughtseize. They Forcible Exiling Brazen Borrower. They have 1 card in their hand. If it's a Daze, I get punished. If it's a Consigned to Memory, I get punished. I don't think I'm supposed to respect 1 card. Dark Ritual. Dark Ritual. Goblin Charbelcher. 1 mana floating. Maybe I should have played out another Diamond. If this is a Spell Pierce, I'm going to feel dumb. Yeah, I should have played out another Lines at Diamond. It is Consigned to Memory. Yeah, they had double interaction. Unfortunate. So our best draw by far is a Echo of Eons now. We'll pass. I'm surprised they did not consign to memory the Lines at Diamond. This looks like a Murktide Regent. That is a large dragon. And now they attack for 1, I'll go to 12. So my time's running out. Okay, any black mana and we can echo for a ton. There's still a chance. They have no cards in hand. They're drawing one card here. We just need a black mana. And then I can echo with 6 mana floating. There's the warning about Magic Online. Alright, we're trying to race that clock. I'm at 4. Draw. Ah, no. Alright, we did not get match number 1. Unfortunate. Alright, I'm sorry, Leon. We did not win the first match. It happens. You know, nothing we could really do about. Our opponent drew pretty well for a mulligan to 5. Granted, they did mold to 5, which is kind of fortunate for this deck, but they did draw a decent amount of interaction. So let's just go try to win match number 2. Moxfield.com is the easiest way to build a Magic deck online. They support over 30 formats, including Legacy and many other Eternal formats. There are so many options to view decks the way that you want, from text view to individual cards, mana value, and even card price. There's also light mode and dark mode. My personal favorite feature is card tags. This way you can sort cards by function. Moxfield supports collection tracking, scryfall search, decklist feedback, and so much more. Follow me on Moxfield.com so you can stay updated on all of my decks. For round number 2, we're on the draw. I'm going to keep this hand even though it might seem a little odd to you. If we draw any black card to imprint a Chromox, I can unmask myself and then turn 1 Echo of Eons. I don't know if our opponent's playing blue or not, so that was the game plan when I kept it. They play a first turn Marsh Flats, which usually means the energy decks here in Legacy. And that's an Ocelot Pride. Yeah. Okay, so any black imprintable here allows for a turn 1 Echo of Eons. Goblin Charbelcher. I mean, that's a pretty good thing to do, too. Alright, so we'll play the Boggart Trawler as a land, play the Chromox, imprint the Unmask, Dark Ritual, Goblin Charbelcher, we'll play the Lotus Petal, and Chromox. So this gives me 3 mana in play, even if they wasteland me or destroy one of my artifacts somehow. Pass the turn. So you might be saying, why would you play out everything? I've seen some of these energy decks that have Cabal Therapy in them or Thoughtseize. Some lists also have Thalia, Guardian of Thraben. So getting all of the cards in play does matter. And the opponent concedes. Sweet. Just good old-fashioned Magic the Gathering right there. We probably want this Dismember, maybe Feed the Swarms, take out the Unmasks. Actually, I'd rather have Unmasked than Duress. Yeah, let's try this out. So I will admit, I don't know if I love how this deck is constructed. And it's, I mean, I shouldn't say that. I don't love the sideboard defense grids. I think 10 protection in the main deck, boarding into 2 more, almost feels like a waste of space. So if I was to work on this deck more, I think I'd cut the 2 main deck defense grid. I'm sorry, the 2 main deck duress. And maybe those become defense grid. It's just like boarding up to 12 protection spells. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. Because like you're swapping with other protection. So it's not a real meaningful upgrade in the sideboard. And if you put the defense grids in the main deck, you could bring back the second copy of Dismember. And then you could board out another Unmask. And like maybe a sideboard Empty the Warrens to help beat Graveyard Hate or Disruptor Flute. And I think I would like that, because then you could board out Unmask and the defense grids for Feed the Swarm, Double Dismember, and Empty the Warrens. And that makes a lot of sense to me. I've been sideboarding in Empty the Warrens a lot in the Epic Storm recently, because you can Burning Wish for Beseech the Mirror, and then Beseech the Mirror gets the main deck Empty the Warrens. And then the main deck Beseech the Mirror can also get Empty the Warrens. So I've been doing that quite a bit, and I've had a lot of success. So I wouldn't mind seeing the Empty the Warrens in the sideboard of this deck. I know it's tougher to cast in your mono black deck, don't get me wrong, but I still think it's fine. Ooh, no initial mana source with this hand. It's so close. We should mulligan. This is all mana, literally, just 7 mana sources. Send it back to 5. Sure. We'll bottom. So are we trying to play around Thoughtseize? Because if so, we'd want the second Belcher, but we're on 5 cards. Can we afford to keep a second Belcher? I think the answer is no. So I'll keep this. With a hand like this, you sort of have to hope that their hate is like Deafening Silence and not Disruptor Flute or anything else. They play a turn 1 land into Grafdigger's Cage. Okay. Pro Mox. We'll just play our land. Pass the... hold on. It's too late. Okay. I think maybe I should have played out Lion's Eye Diamond. Like, if they play a Thalia, it slows everything down. But I guess I have time to play out stuff if they do have a Thalia. Ether Hub. Okay. Yeah, I honestly don't see that card too often out of the Legacy Energy deck, so I'm a little surprised to see it. It could also mean that they have more colors. Like, they might be Mardu instead of just mono white. Or just Orzhov, Amtraptor. Yeah, they're definitely a Mardu list, I think. They have Voice of Victory off of the Amtraptor. And they can't play it because of their own Grafdigger's Cage. Combo! Lotus Petal. So we can play the Boggart Trawler. Ouch. I guess I lose to a Mindbreak Trap, but I'm not going to play around that here. We'll exile the other Boggart Trawler. Play the Lotus Petal. Goblin Charbelcher. And Lion's Eye Diamond. Just good deck building, let me tell you. Pew pew! And that's the ball game. So we are now 1-1 in this Legacy League. Looking to make playing your favorite combo deck much easier? Look no further than the Epic Storm Mini Combo Pack, which is available at theepicstorm.com/shop for $15.99. This token combo pack comes with 84 double-sided tokens featuring classic Storm and Mana tokens with new inclusions such as our modern Ruby Storm package, but that's not all. Our token pack covers a variety of formats from Pauper to CDH with new tokens. Stop on by theepicstorm.com/shop and make an easy decision to elevate your combo game. Match number 3, we're on the draw. We've opened up a turn 1 Echo of Eons with Unmasked backup. So I have no idea what our opponent's playing, but we're hoping to avoid a turn 1 Thoughtseize. Basic Island. Okay. Another Echo. We'll play Fel the Profane untapped as a land, and then unmask. Target them. Exiling the Entomb. They Force of Will, exiling Flame of Anor, so they're on Jeskai control. Lion's Eye Diamond. We talked about Jeskai control when we recorded the Eternal Glory podcast yesterday and how it's not super well positioned, but I feel like I run into it a lot in leagues. Our Echo of Eons resolves, and we find a hand that doesn't really do a whole lot. Play Thoughtseize. They're going to brainstorm in response. Thoughtseize back on the stack. We'll take the Thundertrap Trainer. Pass the turn. They play Flooded Strand and Ponder. They did not shuffle with the Ponder. And they're choosing to not play out Tamiyo, which means they probably have like a Spell Pierce that they hit on top. Lion's Eye Diamond. We'll play Agadeem's Awakening as a land and then pass. So I would really like another Echo of Eons or Entomb as a draw step. Like, I wouldn't scoff at a Goblin Charbelcher, but I feel like we're kind of far away from casting it with protection. And now they play the Tamiyo Inquisitive Student. I'm pretty sure they have a Spell Pierce in their hand. And there's a Belcher. So I guess I'll play out the Boggart Trawler as a land, and I'll pay the 3 life so that way I can Thoughtseize through Spell Pierce. They Force of Will, exiling Flame of Anor. Sure. I need a black card next turn so that way I can unmask into lethal Goblin Charbelcher. Black card or another mana that isn't Fel the Profane. And now they cast the other Ponder. They did not shuffle with the Ponder. They play a Scalding Tarn. 4 cards left in their hand. Entomb. That is a black card, so we'll play Unmask. Exile the Entomb. They're going to fetch, and I feel like they're going to play the Spell Pierce now. And there it is. Okay, so we know that they have Swords to Plowshares and 2 Unknowns. I'm going to disrespect those unknown cards right now. I don't feel like we're supposed to respect them and then give them more time to dig. So I'm going to try to just win here. Lion's Eye Diamond. Goblin Charbelcher. You don't have it. You don't have it. Called it. Target you. Sweet. Alright, so we get game number 1 versus Jeskai Control. And I think this is a matchup where I actually do want to sideboard up to 12 protection spells because they have so much interaction. The question is, what are we going to board out? I think it's probably, it's mana. So maybe like 1 Chromox and 1 Mox Opal. Like, you could bring in Feed the Swarm if you're afraid of Stony Silence. But I don't know if they even have Stony Silence. And I feel like we're probably better off just trying to discard it rather than answer it with Feed the Swarm and dilute our deck further. I'm going to hit submit. Game number 2 on the draw. No protection. But we do have an Entomb for Echo of Eons that we can then imprint this Echo of Eons to help cast. We have Beseech the Mirror. So we have things to do. And there's 12 protection spells in our deck. I think I'm going to keep this. Our opponent has kept 7 cards as well. Flooded Strand. Dark Ritual. Not a bad draw. So now we just need protection. Player, land, and pass. No land. Alright, so they kept a hand with a lot of protection if this is the case. We'll just player, lands, and pass. We don't need to rush into anything here if they kept a hand that's all protection. Like, they'll have to start discarding. They apparently don't have a Meticulous Archive. And step Brainstorm. They found the second land. Scalding Tarn. And Tamiyo Inquisitive Student. 6 cards in their hand. Goblin Charbelcher. Okay. We'll play Mox. Imprint the Echo. And I think I'll pass. Maybe I shouldn't have played the Mox this turn. Because now it can be destroyed by Flame of Anor or Prismatic Ending. Yeah, I shouldn't have played the Mox. That was dumb. I was on the fence about if I should Entomb in my main phase. But then I open myself up to Spell Pierce. And if I just Entomb on the end step, I don't open myself up to Spell Pierce. They attack and investigate with the Tamiyo Inquisitive Student. And they found land number 3 too, so they've hit a couple lands. We'll play Entomb. Minor Misstep. I did say they have a lot of interaction post board. Lion's Eye Diamond. Play out Lotus Petal. Dark Ritual. Beseech the Mirror, sacrificing the Lotus Petal. They force a will, exiling Dress down. We will pass the turn. They have 3 cards in their hand. They can draw a card off the clue token. And they do. So now they have 4 cards. They'll draw for turn and be up to 5 cards. Now they attack. They get to create another clue token. Thoughtseize. Let's play it, I suppose. Interesting. I think it's the Flame of Anor. We don't want them digging deeper. And then I'll play the Diamond here. Because if you play Diamond here, they might Snapcaster and use the Minor Misstep. They let it go. Okay. We will pass. I'm guessing they'll draw using the clue token. So they have Prismatic Ending they can use on the Lion's Eye Diamond or the Mox. They drew another Flame of Anor. Okay. And they also drew the land. If they didn't draw the land, I could have resolved Goblin Charbelcher. I think we're dead because the Tamiyo can now get back Flame of Anor. Yeah, I'm going to concede this one. I needed to draw more protection. Maybe that's my fault for keeping the 7, but I figured with 12 protection spells in our deck, we would have drawn more. Okay. Game 3 on the play. I don't think that this hand is it. If the Goblin Charbelcher was an Echo of Eons, this would be a snap keep. But we should send this one back. This has 1 mana. If this Mox Opal was a Mox, I think I would keep it. But I think we're going to 5 against Jeskai control, which isn't great. Ooh. This is a turn 1 protected Echo on 5. Bottom. This is actually a pretty good 5-card hand. Okay, so we'll lose 3 life. Dark Ritual. Thoughtseize you. They force a will, exiling Consign to Memory. We'll play Lion's Eye Diamond. Entomb. We'll grab Echo of Eons. I'd also be interested in a Runehorn Hellkite in this deck. That's another card that this deck might want. Echo floating a black. They have another force. Okay. Sure. They play Prismatic Vista. We draw Mox. We'll see how long I drag this one out. I might just concede and go to the next round. We're not going to win this most likely. I'd like to see 1, maybe 2 more draw steps. End step, they Brainstorm. They play a Scalding Tarn for turn. Now they're going to Surgical Extraction my Dark Rituals. Okay. Okay. We're not going to win this game if they have double force Surgical into Tamiyo. They had an insane hand in game 3. Sometimes you lose. We're going to pack it up. Alright, so we are now 1-2 with Black Belcher. You're still watching. Make sure to give this video a like, comment, and subscribe. While you're near the description, here's a reminder to use our affiliate links if you're going to make a purchase from Amazon, Card Hoarder, or TCG Player. Just above those affiliate links, you'll find our social channels. Make sure to join those to connect with us. Time for the 4th match. We are on the draw, and we have turn 1 Duress into turn 2 Goblin Charbelcher. We'll try it. Our opponent plays Urza's Tower into Voltaic Key, so likely the Forge deck. Echo of Eons. We'll play our Fel the Profane, ouch, and Duress. And it is. We'll take Karn the Great Creator. Yeah. Alright, pass. They play Urza's Workshop into Grim Monolith, Lotus Petal. Now they can untap the Grim Monolith and then play the Kozilek's Command for 4. And then they can dig 4 deep for another Karn the Great Creator, a One Ring, a Mystic Forge. Yep. So I could have taken the Grim Monolith with Duress. The issue is that I can't really beat a Karn the Great Creator. So, I mean, it's technically possible, but it would be very difficult. So, I think I was just priced into taking the Karn the Great Creator, and you have to hope that the Kozilek's Command doesn't hit. They found a spell here, Tezzeret Cruel Captain. I'm okay with that one. And they minus to go grab a Tormod's Crypt. Sure. I just need 1 more mana so that way Goblin Charbelcher is lethal. That'll do. That makes it lethal this turn. That was actually a perfect draw. Dark Ritual, Goblin Charbelcher, Lion's Eye Diamond. And our opponent is conceding the game. Nice. Alright, so now we just have to get a post-board game. I don't think we sideboard at all. I think our deck is already set up. So I will hit submit and try to steal another game from the Karn the Great Creator deck. So we have turn 1 Unmask. We have Beseech the Mirror. We have a Thoughtseize. I just need more mana. This might be a bad idea, but I'm going to keep it. Urza's Tower, Tormod's Crypt, Echo of Eons. Alright, so we will begin with a turn 1 Thoughtseize targeting them. Take the Tezzeret Cruel Captain. I'm wondering if I want to let them have the Kozilek's Command. Honestly, if they want a Kozilek's Command for 2 on their main phase, I don't think I care, so I'll pass for now. They play the Planar Nexus. We draw another Echo of Eons. That was a really bad draw. Okay, so I guess we'll unmask them and exile the Tendrils of Agony. I was nervous about exiling the Tendrils of Agony because that means I have to win with Goblin Charbelcher, and if they resolve a Karn the Great Creator, I'm in a lot of trouble. And I didn't want to unmask last turn because the plan is to unmask myself and discard the Echo of Eons. And if that's the game plan, I want the Tendrils of Agony in my deck. I guess I could have exiled the Beseech the Mirror, but I think Beseech the Mirror might be my game plan if I can't draw. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I should have just exiled the Beseech the Mirror. We'll take the Glaring Fleshraker, pass the turn. They play the Urza's Workshop, Lotus Petal, and they attack for 0. Cool. Lion's Eye Diamond, please. And the draw step is Boggart Trawler. So I can unmask myself and Echo with no mana floating. I think I'll wait a turn so that way at least I have a land drop. It turns out that the 1 unknown card in their hand that they drew was a Kozilek's Command for 8. I am being punished here for passing the turn because now if they find a Karn the Great Creator, I am done for. 8 cards is a lot to dig deep for. So I think like best case scenario, I mean, the One Ring, but I can't even kill through the One Ring, so you'd have to like Goblin Charbelcher them in their upkeep. They put 3 cards on top. That is terrifying. Okay. I'm good to concede to Karn the Great Creator. Alright. Game 3 on the play. No changes from my side. Let's just try to keep a hand that maybe is a little bit more proactive and less reactive. We are on the play for game 3. Let's see what we can make happen here. This is a turn 1 Echo of Eons with a Lotus Petal in play. We keep that. Our opponent took a mulligan to 6. We'll play the Boggart Trawler as a land, Lotus Petal, Lion's Eye Diamond, and Entomb. We'll put the Echo of Eons to the graveyard, and let's spin. Storm 4. Ah, bummer. We did not hit a payoff. We can duress them here off of the Mox Opal, though. Play duress. And I guess we could, in theory, hardcast Fel the Profane to kill a Karn the Great Creator. We'll take the Pithing Needle and pass. They play Urza's Tower. We draw Dark Ritual. We'll play the Agadeem's Awakening and pass the turn. So there's no real point in me playing the duress. I'm going to wait 1 turn so that way I can make a better decision. It's not like they can Kozilek's Command meaningfully here. Another Urza's Tower. Another Dark Ritual. They stopped on my draw step. You have Surgical for Duress? Is that the play here? If so, wild. We'll play Duress. Disruptor Flute. Okay. So this can name Goblin Charbelcher and then I can't activate it. Our Mono-Black deck notably weak against artifacts. And they have 4 lands in their hand. This might be crazy, but I'm thinking, like, do I just play out Boggart Trawler and start beating down? I think that might be the play here. Exile your graveyard. Pass the turn. A 3rd Urza's Tower. And this is why we play the Guys Will Tendrils of Agony package. Ooh, another Boggart Trawler. Let's go. Swing. Boggart Trawler. I'm going to exile my own graveyard because if we draw Echo, I don't want to draw Duresses. Planar Nexus, they have all the mana in the world now. Pro Mox, okay. Bryant Cook, getting in there. You're at 11. We'll pass. They play another Urza's Tower. Grim Monolith. They have 2 Urza's Workshops in their hand and 1 unknown. Are we really going to beat down with Boggart Trawler for the win? Aghanim Awakening. Let's attack. They're at 5. We'll player land and pass. We need to fade 1 draw step here. Can we do it? They've conceded. Yes! Boggart Trawler beats! We have more wins with Boggart Trawler this league than we do Gaia's Will and Tendrils of Agony. How about that? Alright, we're 2-2. There's 1 match left. Let's go try to win that one. The Gold Sabertooth times the Epic Storm collection has arrived with 3 full-size tokens showcasing the beloved Dark Ritual, CDH Rogsai, and Legacy the Epic Storm for just $5. On the backs of these tokens, there's a place for my signature or a custom message. In addition to these sweet tokens, a friendly reminder that all orders that ship from theepicstorm.com also come with a signed Storm token from yours truly. The 5th and final match. We are on the draw, and we've opened up a hand that doesn't do it, I don't think. We're going to send this back. Much better. We will get rid of the Unmask. Blooded Strand. Okay. Don't love that. I would have preferred like another non-blue deck. Ooh. We'll play Fel the Profane. Who am I kidding? I'm not playing this Belcher. Dark Ritual. We're just going to Echo here. An Imprintable would have been a better draw than that Belcher. Thoughtseize. They fetch with the Flooded Strand. Yeah, like another mana. Or another card to imprint to the Chromox for a mana would have been better. Tropical Island. And they brainstorm in response. They're going to Daze. I think I'll pay just to make sure that I'm able to draw a new hand with this Echo of Eons. They're playing some sort of wild deck with Plagon, Lord of the Beach. We'll take that, I suppose. And then we'll spin with Echo of Eons. Add 3 blue. And let's draw a new hand. Storm is 7. I have 1 black floating. I've already played a land. So I cannot put the Belcher in play this turn. But I can entomb for another Echo. So we'll do that. And then pass the turn. Yeah, if I would have drawn an Imprintable, we could have entombed, or I'm sorry, we could have unmasked Dark Ritual, play the Goblin Charbelcher, and represented lethal for next turn. But instead I drew a Belcher for my draw step that didn't actually help me. Let's unmask, exiling Entomb. They brainstorm in response again. Unmask. Forcible, exiling Nadu. I'm going to see if I can bait out Daze with this Dark Ritual. That way my Goblin Charbelcher doesn't get dazed. Okay. I'll pay 3 life. Goblin Charbelcher. It resolves, and now I'll play Mox Opal. Pass the turn. We have lethal on board. And they just pass the turn. Okay. Belch you. Sweet. Alright, so we've had some luck so far this league of beating blue decks game 1, and then we get trounced in the post-board games. Let's try to get just 1 post-board game versus blue. I would like that. We'll try the defense grids again. And I'm going to try boarding out Duress this time instead of Unmask. We'll see. Maybe the free aspect is good, even though it's card disadvantage in our Chrome Mox deck. Like, in general, I think I'm looking to cut Unmask. So it's not a card that I'm thrilled to have. Like, I think this deck is just too mana hungry is the issue. Game 2 on the draw. So we have, like, double Echo is really awkward, but this is double protection spell plus Goblin Charbelcher. The issue is that this is basically a mulligan to 5, and if you want the Unmask, you have to exile a land. You should mulligan this, I believe. This is so much better. We'll keep this and bottom the guy as well. Okay. Turn 1 Misty Rainforest. Ooh, we ripped the land. Alright, unmask, exile, unmask. I don't care about any of these cards. I guess we'll take Disruptor Flute. Actually, no, I'm going to take Endurance so that way you don't waste my time thinking about if you should Endurance or not. I want to get through this league. And now we'll spin. Spin, baby, spin. Storm 4. Ooh. Okay, let's just think about this. I believe we have a... I mean, we definitely can do some sort of protected win here. I'll play Dark Ritual. And we'll try Defense Grid. Floating 1 black. That was a very good draw 7. Like, very good. And it resolves, so I believe that's the league. Lion's Eye Diamond. Mox Opal. Goblin Charbelcher. Will sacrifice and target you. That's a 3-2 Heroes record with Mono-Black Belcher and Legacy. How about that? Alright, so in front of you is the deck list that I was working on in between matches. This is probably what I would try next time. So, no copies of Unmask, although you could play it. If you want to play a few copies of Unmask over Duress, I think that's acceptable. But I'd like 3 Defense Grid in the main deck, because we are an Echo of Eons strategy. So, I think you want 3-ish, maybe 4 Defense Grid. I wasn't sure about 2 Duress, 4 Grid, or 3-2. So you could play whatever split you want. And then I think I want a Runehorn Hellkite for the Entomb. I would like an uncounterable Entomb target that just means that we're guaranteed to draw a new hand. So you have 1 flex spot, really. I think like you want 8 protection spells and then 1 flex spot. In my flex spot, I put another protection spell, but it could be like a Song of Creation or something else. My issue with Song of Creation is I think like between Goblin Charbelcher, Tendrils, guys, well, you have enough. You can also Beseech the Mirror for another Echo of Eons. Even though it isn't cast for free, you can still search for it. So I don't think you need Song of Creation. And then in the sideboard, as I mentioned in I believe round number 2, putting the second Dismember back in the sideboard and then fitting in and Empty the Warrens. These are things that I'm interested in. So that's what I would try next time. I just think that the deck we played today, a little bit off. But I really do appreciate Leon submitting it as a donation deck. If you're interested in seeing your combo deck here on the channel, go to theepicstorm.com/donation decks and submit your favorite combo deck that way. Everyone, thank you for watching. I truly appreciate it. I hope you have a wonderful day, and as always, keep storming. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to support the channel. After you do that, open up our description where you can find all of our social media networks, including our Discord, where you can discuss today's deck in that Discord with me and tons of other combo masterminds. It's absolutely free to join, and it's certainly worth your while.